Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to today's webinar, Dynamics CRM Maintenance, the metrics you need to know and steps you need to take, Part 1. My name is Olivia Johnston, and I am Assistant Account Executive here at FMT Consultants, and am joined by Tayeb Ali, our Senior Practice Director for CRM. Before we dive in, for those of you who aren't familiar with FMT, I'd like to take a few moments to give you a brief introduction of our company. Here at FMT, we have successfully completed over 1,000 projects. We have been in business since 1995 and recently celebrated our 20th year anniversary. We are Southern California's leading provider of Microsoft integrated solutions and have over 230 clients in both the United States and Canada. We also have over 80 team members in a variety of disciplines with offices in Carlsbad and Los Angeles. At FMT, we pride ourselves in our 5 core values: integrity, service excellence, collaboration, innovation, and passion. But why choose FMT? With the combination of talent, experience, and methodology, we are fully dedicated to the success of your company. We offer a wide array of services pertaining to ERP, CRM, SharePoint, BI, and Office 365. In addition to having extremely experienced consultants, we also have a dedicated help desk that offers ongoing training and support after projects are completed. Not only do we pride ourselves on product expertise and multiple offerings, but we have won a handful of awards, including Best Places to Work, as well as multiple small business awards. Here are just a few of the clients we get the privilege to work with on a daily basis, and of course, we hope to one day add your company to this list. Now I'm going to hand it over to Tayeb, but before I do, if at any time during the presentation you have any questions, feel free to type them into the comment box. We'll be monitoring it during the entire presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Tayeb. I'm the Senior Director for CRM, SharePoint, and BI Dev practices here at FMT. Very excited about this webinar today. The agenda, as you see on your screen, is we are going to cover 3 main categories: integration, data cleanup, and what's new in CRM 2016. Originally, we were planning on doing more. We had originally 6, but I thought that we would not be able to do justice to each one of them, given that we only have probably 45 minutes here. So that's the reason why we kind of selected these 3. And we have converted this into a series of webinars. So this is the first one. And then we are going to reach out to you with the second webinar in this series that will cover the return on investment on your marketing campaigns and some of the other cleanup stuff that every organization should be doing as part of the year-end close-up. Now, on integration, I'm excited because we are going to cover some of the latest and greatest that is just released by Microsoft. So we will be talking about Outlook integration. The Outlook that I refer to here is not the traditional add-in to your Outlook. Most of our clients are already using that. And if you're one of those clients, then you're also familiar with all the heaviness that it brings that slows down your Outlook. So what Microsoft has done is they've released this integration with Office 365 Mail. So it sits on top of your online mailbox. So it's an application that we would cover. Then we'll talk about Office 365 Groups. I'll just briefly talk about that and then show it to you as to how it works in integration with CRM. And then there's a lot of new cool stuff in terms of integration with SharePoint. Now you can integrate OneNote, you can integrate OneDrive, you can integrate these Office 365 groups to share and add documents. So we'll cover that. Then we'll talk about some data cleanup things. This is, I think, one of the most neglected aspects of CRM that leads to a lot of issues in the long run. So the idea is to show you some of the new features that are there in duplicate detection rules, and then also work on duplicate detection jobs and how you can set those up. And then we're going to talk about some of the new features in CRM 2016. So with that, let's go ahead and start with the integration. So the first thing that I want to cover is the new integration with Outlook. So with that, let me go into the demonstration here. So right here. So what Microsoft has done is, if I go into my mailbox, which is part of the Office 365 offering, as I go into any of my emails, I see this icon for Dynamics CRM. This becomes available if you have the Outlook app set up as part of your Dynamics CRM implementation. And this brings in some very cool and nice feature sets. So for example, if I am a sales rep and I just go in and I check my email, and you see here I have an email from one of the prospects here, which is Olivia Johnston. And she sent me this email this morning, and she is saying she is from Cherry Blue Technologies, and she is interested in Dynamics CRM. And I'm super excited because she was candid enough to share her budget with me as well, which none of you ever do. But I have this 300,000 budget that she has. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Dynamics CRM button. As I do that, it launches this application within the context of my Outlook, which is Outlook Online. And what it is going to do is 3 or 4 features that we used to do manually previously. So what it just did there was it searched on Olivia Johnston in my CRM system, and it determined that it could not find Olivia. So it's presenting me an option to create a new contact with her now. It's also showing me an option here to track this email. And if I track it, it will take me to a screen where it will allow me to search the record that I want to associate this email with. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new contact. And what it did there, if you paid attention, it automatically pulled in the first name and the last name based on the email. So it's parsing these emails. Let me just put this off, sorry here. It's parsing this email, and then it's bringing in all the information, and it's also pulling in the email address that this email came in from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, save this information. And now it's creating a contact within CRM for Olivia. And you can see here that it's showing me a lot of activity against this contact as well. Obviously, since I just created this contact, I have absolutely nothing done on it. But it presents me this opportunity to look at what I have done against this contact. And now if I click on this track button, it takes me to this search screen. So for example, it's kind of giving me this opportunity to either track this without setting the regarding field, which I can do by clicking on this link, or I can say I want to track this email against Olivia, and I hit search here, and it's going to find it, and then I can select that. So it's now tracking this email, and it has set this regarding object as Olivia Johnston. At any time here, I can click change and change the regarding field as well. So what I can do now is if I go back to my CRM system, if I go into sales, refresh here. So if I go into the CRM system, they have this new feature that I'll talk about a bit more in detail on when we get to the new features aspect of it. But I can then go in and see if I can search Olivia here. And this quick find helps me find Olivia, and then I can just go in and I can start working on this contact. I can add in activities. I can create opportunities against this contact. So all the out-of-the-box features that you get with Dynamics CRM, you can perform those here now. So for example, you can see here, I can do all of this. So this integration that they have released with online mail and CRM is huge, and they're just adding more features to it. So for example, like I said, if I create activities there, those would show up here. I can click on this pop out button. If I have my pop-ups unblocked, then this would work. Give me 1 second. So I can click on that, and it will open up this record in context of CRM, and then I can directly do things from here as well. So I showed you one way of getting to it is to just click on this pop-up button. The other is that obviously you can go into CRM and use this quick find feature that we have as part of CRM 2016, and then you can leverage that to find your contact as well. Now, how do you set it up? So what you will do in order to have access to this app within your Outlook Online is you'll go into the settings section here, and then you will see CRM app for Outlook. You'll click on that, and only the users who have a privilege, which is to use the CRM app for Outlook, this one, will be added to use the Outlook add-in. If you have different users, obviously a prereq is that you need to have the mailbox set up, but considering that you don't use a trial organization like I am doing for this webinar, you already have all the users and they have their mailboxes set up in the system. So all you need to do is to work with your administrator and have them assign this use CRM app privilege in the security roles. And where you do this is you go to settings again. And let me actually go to security. And in the security, you go to security roles. And under security roles, you can open up just the role that you want to assign Outlook app for. And then once you go in there, you can just select that app. So for example, if I go in here under business management, I should see use CRM app for Outlook. So if I remove this, then this person or anybody who has this role of CSR, customer service representative, they won't be able to access this app. But if I put this on, then all of them will become eligible for this app. And this is how you can set it up. So this is one cool feature. It's still in beta right now. It came out 5 days ago. So I'm super excited that I'm sharing this with you. But the possibilities here are huge because there's a lot of negative feedback from the Outlook add-in perspective. It slows down your Outlook. But with this going to the cloud first and the online version, the idea is that you'll be able to do a lot more, a lot faster. So this is one of the integration features that I wanted to cover. The next that I want to talk about is integration with SharePoint. So those of you who do not know what SharePoint is, it's a collaboration platform, and it allows you to upload documents onto SharePoint, and you can set versioning for documents, and you can share documents. And the idea is that all of your document storage should reside in SharePoint. And there are multiple aspects to it, favorable aspects to it. So for example, you don't want to store your documents in CRM because in CRM you have to pay a lot more for data storage than you have to do in SharePoint. Plus in SharePoint, your per user license is a lot cheaper than what it is in Dynamics CRM. So let's say if you only have your sales reps in CRM, you would probably have the complete organization in SharePoint. And if you want to share content with everybody, then you would be storing that content in SharePoint so that everybody could be part of the activities that are happening in CRM. So keeping that in mind, what Microsoft has done is they have enhanced the existing SharePoint integration, which kind of focuses on the documents. And then in the end, I'll talk about this Office 365 groups, which is like taking it to totally another level in terms of collaborating across the organization. But we'll come to that in a second. So on the SharePoint side, if I go back to, say, my CRM system here, and let me go in and open up one of the opportunities that I prepared for this webinar. So as I go along, I can probably touch upon some of the new features. So for example, what I'm going to do to access my opportunity is I'm going to click on this, which is going to show me all the recent records. And then I'm going to click on 4G enabled phones. I'm going to click on that, and it will open up my opportunity for me. So this is what we refer to as quick access tab. So you click on that, and it shows you all the recently used records, and then you can pin them. So for example, I can pin Olivia here, and now Olivia shows up in my recent records. So here I am on this opportunity, and what I want to do is I want to add documents against this. So you can see I'm on the proposed stage, and this is just to give you an overview, this is a process flow that we'll cover in the next session of this webinar. But for now, let's suppose that you're on the propose stage and you're preparing a proposal to be sent to this prospect. So what you're going to do is you're going to come up here and you're going to click on the documents. Now, as you click on documents here, it's going to open up this, I call it a window because it's not just a window to SharePoint, it's a window to document management. And what Microsoft has done is they have expanded their document management features. So in addition to just storing this content in SharePoint, right? So you see here the document location is SharePoint. You can also store it in your OneDrives. I hope all of you are familiar with OneDrive. OneDrive is an out-of-the-box feature that comes with Office 365. Every user has OneDrive, which has, I think, 500 megabytes of data that comes with it or more. Don't quote me on that. I can check up if you want, but it has a lot of data storage capacity, which is your personal drive. And then the difference between this SharePoint is that the links are different. If you pay attention, this is kind of mapped to opportunity. And this is mapped to a group that I have created for Office 365 group. So I could not cover this right now. I'll cover this in a bit. But for these two, what I can do is I can upload a document here. And as I upload a document, it would ask me, where do I want to put this? So I can put it either in my open documents in my SharePoint or on my OneDrive or in my Office 365 groups. So let me choose open documents here and pick up a file. So I click on choose files, I go to my desktop, and I just select this random file. I click OK. Ignore this. So you can see here that I have this copy of book 1 that I just uploaded. So it added one more to the SharePoint thing. But now if I go to my SharePoint, let me see. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to my SharePoint sites. And in there, I'm going to say open up one of the Contoso sites that I have as part of this demonstration. So I click on that. And you will see that for each entity that I have in CRM, based on the integration setup, it has created a separate document library here for me. And if I click on this opportunity document library, this 4G enabled fonts is the name of the opportunity against which I am adding these documents. So this right here. So what it does is that anything I add in context of this opportunity, it kind of adds it into SharePoint. So if I go in here, based on the recently added document, you see this is the document that I just added about a minute ago in here, and it shows up in SharePoint. So what you will do is if you want to share it with folks who are not part of the CRM system, then you will share this content from here. Plus everybody who lives in SharePoint, and mostly our clients have intranets in SharePoint, and everybody has this set as their default browser. So they would land up here and they'll be able to see all the collateral that CRM folks are sharing so that people could collaborate on that. But one other thing that they have done is this OneDrive thing. So for example, if similarly I upload a document and I select the target location as OneDrive rather than the SharePoint location, then it adds those documents over to my OneDrive location. So for example, if I go back in and I open up my OneDrive here, and every user has their own OneDrive. So the idea is that if this is something which is personal, so for example, you did some research on your opportunity in CRM, then you are going to put it in the OneDrive. But if this is something on which you need to collaborate on with the rest of the sales team, or maybe you need to go out to your engineering team and get estimates from them, then you'll probably put that into SharePoint. So the way OneDrive is organized is that everything that comes in from CRM automatically goes into the CRM folder. So every user who is part of CRM has this CRM folder created in their OneDrive. And then in there, you can see that I have opportunity. In opportunity, I have this 4G enabled fonts. And the two documents that I have in there, they're both uploaded over here. So for example, if I go back in here, you see these two documents, they show up in my OneDrive. So this is another way for you to collaborate on this. So the idea is that they're building on top of the SharePoint platform and giving you multiple locations to add content into. And then you can, if you want to just look at one specific content, you can just filter this. So for example, I'm looking at all files here, right? But you can click on Open Documents, and then it shows you all of your documents that you have posted into SharePoint. If you click on OneDrive, then it is going to show you all the documents that you have in OneDrive. And then the next one is the Office 365 groups, which is group documents. But that's something that I'll cover probably next based on the slide deck. All right, so the next is Office 365 groups. It's something which is new, so I'm not sure if you are familiar with Office 365 groups, but the idea is that within your Office 365, you can set up groups, and within those groups, you can share collateral, you can start conversations, you can share calendars. So it's like a sort of a small collaboration portal within the context of CRM. And the potential is huge. So after this, I really believe, to be honest, that if you're still not able to collaborate on your opportunities, and there was a time in CRM 1.0, 3.0, 4.0 where the system kind of fell short in the ability to provide the sales rep on the collaboration side. But if you still, as an organization, are not able to do that, it means that either the users are not trained, there's a user adoption issue, or there is a process flow issue. And I can say that with certainty based on my 10+ years of experience that this is like huge in terms of the capability that we have here. So let me show you how these groups look in context of your Office 365. So each opportunity that I create, it creates a group in Office 365. So for example, you can see here that I have a group for 4G enabled phones, which is an opportunity that I was working on in CRM. And in here, I have all the conversations. I can click on the calendar view, and it will show me the calendar view, and I can invite members who I want to be part of this group. So for example, for this 4G enabled phones, I added Molly here and myself as the two members who are working on it. I can click on files, and it will show me all the files that are shared in context of this group, which is related to the opportunity that I have. So for example, I have 2 files for this. You can see who these files are shared with. You can delete them and send them to the recycling bin. But if I click back on it again, it's going to again take me to that portal kind of a view where I can work on this and collaborate with my team on. And this is kind of staying within Office 365. So what Microsoft has done is they've taken this functionality and they've kind of embedded it in CRM so that you don't have to leave your CRM opportunities. So for example, to show you this in context of CRM, let me click on this opportunity again. So this is your like normal view where you're working on this opportunity, and these are the things that you see. So I click on this and I click on Office 365 groups. As I do that, it is going to load all of this kind of a small portal, collaboration portal functionality, and put it right in context of this opportunity for me. So as a sales rep, I could collaborate with additional folks. For example, for our organization, as they released this, I was thinking that we can use it for collaboration between our sales and my team. So my team works on, say, preparing the estimates for the proposals, and the sales team, they work on creating the actual statement of works. So we do a lot of collaboration, and we don't really have a tool that helps us do that. So there's a lot of back and forth. But with this, now we can do that. So you can see here that within CRM, I have this open calendar. So I can click on that, and it will show me the calendar for everybody. I can start a group conversation. So if I send it, it will be sent to all the members. I can add more members here. So for example, if I want to add one more member, it will take me into the Outlook. And from there, I can go in and I can add in anybody who is part of the CRM organization as well as outside CRM. So this is where it's more powerful. So I can even add members who are not part of this organization of the CRM system to this group. So for example, if I click on this, I can probably search for Dan, who is my CEO for this trial that I'm using. So I click on that and I say, add and save. So as I add Dan in, it's going to bring in Dan as well into this group that I have here. And then, so you see Dan is part of this group now. So all the conversation that was done on this group, all the files that were shared, now Dan, just by being part of this group, has access to it. Again, I want to stress upon that Dan does not have to be part of your CRM system. So he could just be outside CRM and still get context of what's happening on this. So for example, if you're working on a big deal and your CEO wants to be part of that, you can just add them to this team member group and they will know exactly what's going on here. You can add documents in context of this Office 365 group. So if I click on this, attach and upload a document, and I select, say, a file here, it is going to add in this file, and you can see it here. And then now if I take you back to the documents, you will see another file there that would be stored on this Office 365 group. And then it has this notebook integration. So if I click on that, it's a OneNote thing that it will open up for me. And it's OneNote online, so I can take all my notes in OneNote. If you haven't used OneNote, I would recommend that you start using it. I use it. It's awesome. It saves everything for you. It allows you to share these notes quickly with other users. There's a lot that you can do in OneNote in terms of tagging content within the context of this OneNote. So all of that is kind of available to you here. So what the biggest thing with this Office 365 group, in my viewpoint, is that they have successfully managed to kind of take different systems that they had, like OneNote, SharePoint, Yammer, that used to allow you these conversations that you see here, their Outlook calendar view, and they've just incorporated that into one. So it gives you power of everything. And the good thing is that you can collaborate with people who are outside your CRM. So this is huge in terms of how you set it up. So it has some manual steps that you have to go through. The first one is that you will go in to settings, and in here you will see Office 365 groups. So if you click on that, it will go ahead and set it up for you. But you will only see, let it just load here, and then you can tell your CRM system which entities you want to enable these groups on. So I have done it for opportunities and accounts. But in order for you to be able to see this Office 365 groups, what you need to do is you need to work with your deployment manager for your Office 365. And what they will do is they are going to go into your Office 365 admin section. So you click on the admin here. And within the admin, you will go to the CRM. It's asking me to log in again. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Now you all know my password. Okay. I'm not sure why it's not letting me in. Let me try it here. Yeah, let me try it again over here because I couldn't get into my admin portal from there. So let me go in and click on admin here. I hope it doesn't take me. It does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this into my other browser, and here I'll try to log into the portal again and use my admin credentials. I think this should work. Yeah. So now I'm going into my portal as the deployment admin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this admin section. And just to build the context again, I was showing you how you can set up Office 365 groups. So I come in here and I go into CRM. And as I open up CRM, it is going to show me my CRM organization. So you can see here I have the production instance. For most of you who are using Office 365, you should have a few more here, like the sandbox instances. But what you do is you click on the solutions. And in the solutions, Microsoft has provided some solutions that you can enable for your CRM organization. So you will see this Office 365 group solution here, and you need to install this. So if it's not installed, then you will see a button here to install it. And then once you click on that, then it will become installed in your CRM system. And then you will be able to see this option within your CRM here. So this is how you set it up. And then similarly, for setting up your integration with SharePoint, you click on the document management here. And then it's a very simple step-by-step process. So you just keep on clicking on enabling this OneDrive for Business, and it enables your OneDrive integration. You click on SharePoint document locations, and it enables your SharePoint document locations. So I'll just take a small 30-second break here. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in. And then towards the end of the webinar, I can probably answer those questions on the integration section. Because after this, we are going to move on from integration on to the duplicate detection section of the webinar. All right, so on the duplicate detection, and here's why I want to cover this in webinar, to be honest, and I'll be blunt. But this is something that we usually don't cover as part of our implementation. We just train the admins on our client side on how to set these duplicate detection rules and how you can have duplicate detection jobs that actually detect your duplicates for you in CRM system. But recently what I have seen is that those duplicate detection rules are never set up. It could be that we don't do a good job on the training side, but it could be that this is something that doesn't show off as a drawback right when it is not set up. But if you kind of keep on doing that over the course of years, your data becomes corrupted, you have a ton of duplicates, it becomes really difficult to execute your sales processes within CRM, because CRM essentially is as good as the data in it. So it's important that if you don't have these duplicate detection rules and jobs set up, you work with your admins or you reach out to us and we set these up for you, because you don't want to have duplicates in your system. What Microsoft has done is they have added some new features to duplicate detection rules. So for example, if I go into settings and I go into data management, I can go into my duplicate detection rules. And what they have done is previously they had this ability to be able to check on certain fields while you were creating records to see if there was a duplicate in the system based on that. But what you could not do is to check across multiple entities. What I mean by that is, let's say you're adding in a new lead and the email address is lead@email.com. And if there's an existing lead that has the same email address, then it would show you a pop-up that it's a duplicate. But what if you have an existing contact that has the same email address, which is lead@email.com? Then duplicate detection did not work across those entities. But what they have done now is, and this is the one that I've set up for you, you can do checks from one entity across onto the other entity. So this duplicate detection rule that I have, what it does is that it has a base record type, which is a lead, but then it has a matching record type, which is a contact. So it's checking on a lead email. If it's a match with a contact email, then it is going to show you a pop-up message that there is a duplicate being added. So for example, if I try and do this, so I go into the system and I try to create, say, a new lead. All right, so I go in here, I click new lead. Now I have a check based on the email, so I hope I pick up the right email as I create this lead that I already have in the system. So let's say dup check, and I put in the name as myself, and here I put in the email as, I think I have this in the system at fmt.com, and I save this. So it's going to pop up this duplicate detection screen, and here you can see it's telling me that you have a potential duplicate record. One on the lead, which is lead demo, but then I also have one duplicate here on the contact record, which is this Judd Helenza, who's stolen my email and using that as a contact in my system. So I can actually check this duplicate detection from lead onto lead as well as the contact. So this is something new that wasn't there before. Now I can obviously, like you're accustomed to, you can decide as to what you want to do with this. I can go onto this contact and I can say just deactivate this contact here, or I can edit this contact to change this email address if I think it's wrong, or I can just force it to kind of save this record into the system as well. But the idea is now that you have this ability to go across your entities to be able to apply these duplicate detection rules. And this is something which is new with CRM 2016. So you won't see it in the older versions of the system. But now going back to the data management piece, you can obviously set up all the rules that you had in the old systems, which are kind of one entity specific. So if you want those, you can add those in here. So this is on the rules, but the next step, which is I think equally important, if not more important, is that you can set up these rules and they would stop your salespeople from adding duplicates. But then as admin, you need to be able to validate whether they are kind of conforming to that or not. And for that, what you can do is you can set up duplicate detection, duplicate detection jobs. So in there, you can go in and you can create a new job. You can tell it when to execute that job. And then you can select from your existing rules the one that you want that job to execute. So for example, if I go in here, I can go in and I can select from any of the entities in the system on which I have these duplicate detection rules set up. I can go in and I can select this view for my duplicate detection rules. So it's not showing me my entities, it's showing me my rules. And I can select a rule from here. All the rules that are published in my duplicate detection rules should be available over here for you to select. Once you do that, then you kind of select the scheduling aspect of it. So what's the time, how frequently do you want it to run, and then what do you want the system to do if it detects the duplicates or when it runs this job. And you can select here that we want them to send an email to the admin, and you can also say add in your sales VP or some other folks that you have in the CRM system that you would like to share this content with. Then you click on next here, and you submit this and you're done with this. And once you have done that, you are going to have this job show up in the list of the jobs that you have. And let me show you how this works. So this is going to execute at the predefined time based on the schedule. And then it is going to send out an email to you. And the email looks like, I think I executed it yesterday. So email looks like this. So Microsoft Dynamics CRM, duplicate detection, my open leads is complete. And here it is sending me a link to check all the duplicates in the system based on the rule that I had set. So I can click on this link, and it takes me to this view where it shows me all of the data that corresponds to this duplicate detection job. So for example, this is a default view, but you click on your view duplicates, and then it shows you your duplicates, and within the context of this window, you can take actions on this. So for example, I have here Ellison Brown, and it is showing me that it has one duplicate on the contact, again based on the email, right? So I can take action. I can say, okay, I want to deactivate this. So this is part of your data cleanup in your organization. Very important that you do it frequently so that your data doesn't get stale, you don't have a ton of duplicates, and it's kind of in line with the processes that you have. Then you click on the second one, it will show you all the duplicates that you have for this second one. You can see I have 4 here. For this one lead, I have these 4 contacts. Now, just to highlight that it's absolutely okay to have your lead that has the same email, because a lead gets converted to contacts and you will have the same email in the context. But you see here the status of this lead is open, which is a problem. So if we converted this lead and it became into these contacts, then this should have been qualified. So again, you can set this up in your rules to make sure that this duplicate detection is helping you conform to your process within the organization and then helping you clean up the data. So I can click on this number 3 here, and this is the one that I was showing you. So it shows me that I have 1 lead that is a duplicate, but then I also have 1 contact that is a duplicate. So this is like an all-inclusive view for you to do your data cleanup across. So like I did it for 1 lead when I created it, but this duplicate detection window allows me to do it across the organization. So this is what I wanted to cover on the duplicate detection. And now that I have, how much more time do I have? 20 minutes. So I'm going to focus on some new and cool features that we have in CRM 2016. There's a lot that is new, so I won't be able to go into a lot of details, but like I can do a session on each one of these new features, but I just want to give you a kind of a taste of each one of them, because this new system is definitely a huge improvement on what we had before. So with that, let's go into some of the new stuff that we have with CRM 2016. So the first change is the navigation. So my system forced me to go onto the demo here. So give me 1 second. Sorry for this, guys. And let me go back to the navigation screen again. All right, so we covered integration, we covered data cleanup, and then we were talking about new features in CRM 2016 and navigation. So some of you probably already noticed, but for those who did not, so if I go into my CRM system, you can see that this whole navigation has changed. So from CRM 2013, where you had that tile view, now this is the new view. You click on this Home, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and then you go on to this and it shows you all of these kind of tiles, but you don't have to really click on them or go through, because you can just click on sales and it expands it under. And then you have this category grouping here, and then you have each type of entity that you have in that grouping. And what they have also done is that with this navigation, you can right-click anything and open it in a new tab. So within the context of this, I can say, open my opportunities, open my leads here, and open my competitors. And I'm doing that, so it's like opening it up in the 3 additional tabs with my browser. And then I can go in on each one of them to see the leads, the opportunities. This one is opportunities, then I have leads here and competitors here. So this kind of helps you get to the information you need quicker and faster, and it's a lot easier than it used to be on that tile view that they claim to had optimized in context of the tablets, but none of my clients liked it. So I'm really happy that they changed it. So this is one thing on the navigation bar. Then, as I showed you, that you can right-click and open a new tab. And then what they also have is that they have changed this navigation on the form as well. So for example, if I go into one of the opportunities here, I can quickly get to different sections within the form by clicking and using this navigation within the form. So as it opens up, let me show this to you. So if I'm here, you can see my first section is summary, but I can click on this and I can click on product line items, and it will take me to the section product line items. Then I click on this again, I click on quotes and it will take me to a section in the system which is quotes. So they have made this so that I could get to information a lot faster. And obviously they have made a ton of improvement on this process flow as well in terms of where you are at and how you can make progress back and forth, but that's probably for the next session. So I'll go back to my deck. The next thing is the nested quick create. So this is an awesome feature because, and I'll explain why. So what we have now is we have this feature that allows a sales rep, say who is working on this opportunity. So I'm a sales rep, right, for the sake of this demonstration, and I'm working on this opportunity and creating a proposal in this stage. Now I receive a phone call from, say, a prospect who is interested in a SharePoint implementation. So what I do is I click on this plus button on the top, and it gives me, and I say, okay, I just received a call, here's a new opportunity for me. And I click on this opportunity, and then you will see how it will bring down this curtain view for me. So I'm still in context of my opportunity here, but it allows me to create this new opportunity. So I say, interested in SharePoint. But what this nested view does is that previously, if I'm in an opportunity, I'll not be able to create a contact, right? So this is somebody new, and they say, okay, my name is, they tell me their name is John Doe. Maybe I already have John Doe in the system, so Joe Smith maybe. So I do this, and I cannot find Joe in the system. What I'll do is I'll click on this new, but what's cool is that it still keeps it in context of the opportunity. So you see how it kind of is showing me this breadcrumb now that I started from this opportunity, and now I am on the contact, and it automatically brings in the search that I use as part of finding Joe. So what I can now do is I can say, sorry, Smith here and Joe here. And then what I do is I go, okay, which company you work for? And the person says he or she works for, say, L3C. And I try to search for L3C, and I don't find that, and I click on new again. And then it takes me to yet another level within my this nested view of creation. And now I started from opportunity, went to the contact, and now I'm on the account level. So I save this. I save this. And now I have Joe Smith as the contact, and I save this. And as I do that, it's now showing me this opportunity that I can either say, okay, I want to view this record, or I can now continue working on this proposal because I'm done with this phone call that I got from Joe Smith. But what I've been able to do is, if I go on this recently created records, I've created an opportunity, but I've also created a contact. I've also created an account that I can now associate with this opportunity. The contact is already associated because opportunity needs at least one of these. So you can see here it says Joe Smith, but then I can say here that it's L3C that I was actually doing this for. So this is awesome because within the context of my existing work that I was doing, I was able to create new opportunity, but also organize the content the way it should be in the CRM system. So opportunity, contact, and an account. And I absolutely love this feature. So this is cool. Then the next thing I have in the list of features is, I'm not going to show this to you, but I know that most of you who have used CRM, they recognize this screen, which always pops up whenever you log into the system. And there was no way for us to get rid of this. But now we have a system level setting, and you can go in there and you can say, do not display this navigation tour screen. So I know it would be a huge relief for some of the admins who receive these requests from their CRM users to get rid of this screen. So we have that as one of the new features. And then we have some additional features on the user setting level. So you can set up your default area, your records or views per page, and advanced find. So let's cover that. So I go into the system again, and I go into my settings here. And in the options, it allows me to do some things that previously you would reach out to your consultants and pay them extra for that. So like here you see records per page. You can change that now. So you can say, I want to see 250 records per page. Then you have this advanced find mode, and I'll show you what this is. You can set it to be simple versus detailed. And then this is your default pane. So I don't know if you paid attention or not, but I have set up the sales and opportunities as a sales rep to be my default landing page in the CRM system. So when I log into the system, what I see is, so if I try to do that here, I go in and I say, go on, put in the URL for my CRM system, and I click enter, and it does not take me to the dashboard that it used to take you, because the default view that I have set up is my open opportunity. So it takes me directly to my open opportunities, and I can start working on it. And it's a user setting that you actually do from these options here. The other thing that I showed you was the advanced find. So for example, if I click on advanced find here, and I go on to the opportunities, and I say, let me remove this because I want to show you that I can see more than 50 records on one page. And I click results here, it's going to show me more than 50 or 61 records that I have in the system. And this is because I set in my user settings that I want to see more than 50 records. I set, I think, it to 250. So you can kind of change it and set it to whatever you want to set it to. So that's what they have new in terms of the user settings. And I think we have 8 minutes that I want to leave for the questions that we might have. So I guess I'm going to skip some of the views as well as the templates that I wanted to cover. And I'll probably keep them for the second session in this series of webinars. And then we can cover those items as well. So there's a ton of new features on the search. There are new features on the immersive Excel. You can do templates now. Templates are huge, and I'm really excited about that because I've had customers who would pay us around $4,000 to $5,000 to enable them to create contracts from their opportunities. But now you don't have to really reach out to the consultants because you can configure those contracts yourself. So you have this nice mail merge where you can just go onto the opportunity, click on a Word template, and it creates that contract for you the way you want it to show up. So with that, we are on the questions here. So I'll ask my team here to let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead. How do I see them? Okay, here. All right, so the first one I have, I can see them now. Okay. I would be interested in steps to. All right, so I got it. So I can read them. So the first one I have is they would like to interested in the steps to turn on the feature. I think what we can do is I can actually work with Daryl to show exactly what are the steps to turn on the feature, because I don't understand which feature they're referring to, but I can definitely do that right after this webinar. The second question I have is, which tab was the CRM for Outlook add app option? We joined a little late. So if I go back to my, so you go into these 3 lines, you click on settings here, and in here you see CRM app for Outlook. So if you click on that, you're going to be able to add in users who should have this app configured for them. But like I said, you need to have the mailboxes configured, and you need to make sure that all of those users have this privilege, which is use CRM app in the security roles. So that one was for Rachel White. Then we have, is it after the update that this is available? So yeah, this is absolutely new. This is still in beta version, the CRM app for Outlook. So this is not even available with the latest versions. What you'll have to do is you'll have to, like I said, configure it in here and in your Office 365 to get to this. But like I said, they're still working on it, so it's work in progress. So it has some glitches in it as well. It's not prime time right now, just so you guys know. Does OneDrive for Business have an app yet? Do you know? I think OneDrive for Business has an app. It have had it for a long time, but I can confirm that after this demo, and we can probably reach out to you via an email with a link to download that app. So the next question is, I looked away for a split second and missed how you access the document grid showing SharePoint and OneDrive links. So what you do is you go onto your opportunities. For example, I click on this opportunity and never look away for even a split second next time. All right, so you go to your opportunity here, and in the opportunity, as it uploads the opportunity, I think I probably should have that opportunity open. Okay, it's not even showing me my bar now, so let me do this. Go in here, I click on this opportunity, and in the opportunity, right next to the opportunity, you have a down arrow, and you click on that, and then you click on Documents, and it takes you to that. So while it's loading up, I can probably read the next. No, it's right here. So I click on this to get to the Documents, and I click on Documents here, and then it loads these documents in context of my opportunity. So that's how you get to this. The next is the document association grid. So I think it's the same thing. The document association grid, this is how you open it, and then you can upload documents from here, and you can choose your document locations from here. I hope you're asking about this. I have a question from a friend, Blake, here. Where is the setting for disabling the navigation display for users? So you go into your system level settings. You click on this, you go into settings, and then you click on your administration. This is an error, so I'll just close this. And once you're in the administration, you click on system settings. And in the system settings, I think it's probably the second last or the last option that they added in. So you go in there and you see an option here, set whether users see the welcome screen or not. So Blake, if you're getting a lot of requests for that, you can use this. And the last question that I have is, how do we enable it? It is not showing up. Now, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. If you're talking about, I can probably take it offline as well, because I'm not sure enabling what. If you're talking about Office 365 groups, you have to go into Office 365. You have to deploy a solution for Office 365 groups. And then once you do that, then it will become available here in the settings for Office 365 groups. And you click on that, and then you can configure the entities that should have this enabled here. But before you could even get to this, you need to go back to your Office 365, and there you need to configure it. Then I have a new question that just came in. All right, it's just a comment. It says that I did an excellent job. So I hope all of you feel that way. But with that, we come to the end of this webinar. I'll hand it over to Olivia here.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any other questions, I will be following up with all of the attendees, so feel free to ask me at that time. We truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us, and we hope to see you at our future events.